Honourable Deputy Opposition Leader.
Thank you, Deputy Speaker. My question, without notice, Deputy Speaker, goes to the good, hard-working Treasurer. Mr. Deputy Speaker, earlier this year, the Treasurer advised this Honourable House that he was struggling with non-tax revenue, and non-tax revenue hadn't hit the targets that he had initially projected. Further, after that, the good Prime Minister told and announced to the country that there would be a realignment of the budget after the final budget outcome was presented. Mr. Deputy Speaker, we are entering the last month of the second quarter, and all members of the House have to be aware that we only have 3 months before we start dealing with the 2026 development budget. Now, my question is, the people of Chuave have just received 2 million DSIP out of 15 million that's budgeted in the 2025 budget. The people of Simbu have hardly received any functional grants, the Simbu provincial government, since last year, since May this year. So my question to the good Treasurer, you have failed to generate the projected revenue. Are you, as a responsible government, going to bring a supplementary budget and realign expenses, cut off the Connect PNG scam, and focus on districts, provinces, and key sectors like the health department? The emergency ward of the Goroka Hospital got shut down because they have no medicine and can't afford to keep it open. These are serious issues that really question the prudential financial management of this Treasurer and the fiscal implementation of the budget. The 2025 budget will fail, Mr. Deputy Speaker, if we don't bring a supplementary budget and realign our priorities for the nation. Thank you, Deputy Speaker.
The Honourable Treasurer.
See what the Honourable Treasurer has to say.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I want to thank the Shadow Treasurer for his question. Will we be providing a supplementary budget this year? Mr. Speaker, there is a process to follow with supplementary budgets. Obviously, we need to finalise our mid-year economic outlook report. That's due on 31st of July. After we receive confirmation of where we are on the implementation of the budget, then we can have a more informed view to table a supplementary budget. At this point in time, we've had some very detailed discussions to do so. And at this stage, we at the Department of Treasury are intending to recommend to the government, to Cabinet, for a supplementary budget. But of course, that's subject to where exactly we are with our numbers. At this point in time, I wish that we could have released funds back to your province and back to yourself, my good member, and to everyone else sitting inside here. But as we will find out, I hope to table the FBO next week on Thursday or Wednesday, and we'll see that last year, for example, revenues were down by about 1,500 million kina. Moving into this year, it's been pretty challenging. This year, given all of the external shocks, including, of course, the tariff wars that's ongoing, our revenue looks to be hit by about 2 billion. But that's numbers that I will confirm for the Parliament. But in the meantime, can I urge all of us to use what funds that we have available to us? What funds that we have available to us For the Chimbu provincial government, for example, in our budget for this year of 36 million kina, we've issued warrants of 6 million to date, and that's about 16% of your budget, and of that amount, we have yet to release those funds, but at this point in time, from the records I have at IFMIS, we have about 10 million in the provincial government funds. So if I could urge us to utilise that until the Department of Finance can release more funds to you, including with yourself, you still have some funds there. And if I could urge you and other members of Parliament can use that until such time as those funds reach you. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
We have a supplementary.
Thank you, Mr.
Governor for speaking.
Thank you, Mr. Deputy Speaker. It's first of all, let me thank the Treasurer for admitting that the carryover shortage from last year, including the shortfall this year, is about 3.5 billion. So perhaps he could confirm that for all of us in his response. Number one. Number two, as he knows, most provinces, including ECPIC, have not, and I believe Chimbu provincial government has shut down operations. And I note from the communications on the governor's WhatsApp group that I think all provinces haven't received their funds. ECPIC hasn't received any money since May last year. So that goes to the, it's been 12 months now, we haven't received any budgeted government funds. So assuming that all provincial governments have not received any funds, this points to a deeper problem. I'd like to ask the Treasurer if the work that is going to go into the supplementary could begin in earnest, and if so, when can they do it? Because this is not just a problem for the government, it's a problem for the country, Mr. Speaker. So as such, they can't keep it under wraps while we all send text messages to one another and complain on our little forums about these financial problems. It needs to be brought to light, perhaps brief everyone as to the full gravity of the situation. The Treasurer did mention the FBO, and I remind him that by law, that report is supposed to come out in March. It's now May. So obviously there are some serious problems that are delaying the release of the final budget outcome. And I just want to ask the Treasurer whether the problems are with budgeting or whether the problems are with cash distribution out of finance. And therefore, again, Mr. Deputy Speaker, emphasizing the need for full transparency on the part of government as to the true financial situation of our country. Thank you, Mr. Deputy Speaker.
Treasurer?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Acting Speaker, and I want to thank the Governor for his comments. And firstly, respond by saying that this government, the Department of Treasury and Finance, are not withholding any information, Mr. Speaker. We're not deliberately hiding any information from this Parliament or the people of this country. As I mentioned earlier, if you can allow me to table a detailed statement on the FBO, and from that report, you'll get a lot more detail than rather than for myself reading some ad hoc numbers. But just to clarify, Mr. Speaker, whilst the government has been slower than normal to release funds to our provincial governments, it's really not a reason for us to, for example, close down our office, as the Governor mentioned, with Chimbu provincial government. Whilst I wish I could have supported them a lot more as we have in previous years, I saw no reason why if I understand it correctly, the office of the Governor had closed his office, purportedly, as I understand it, for a lack of funds. But my report dated 31st of April, that's the IFMIS report, the same report that you all use, that we use, confirms that there is 16.6 million kina still in his operating account.
Point of order.
So
President,
I'm wondering why they're doing that.
The point of order is quite simple. Could the treasurer, I mean, as the treasurer knows and the finance minister knows, these funds are issued for different purposes. You have what we call functional grants, which are used for administration. You then have your SIP funds, which are either DSIP or PSIP, and sometimes some lucky provinces and lucky districts pick up what we call PIP funds. Now, these funds, if they are to be utilized for operational purposes, that would constitute a misappropriation of funds on the parts of those who are expending those funds. So if the treasurer could clarify whether these funds he is talking about are specifically for function grants, if not, if they are for other purposes like SIP funds or if they are for PIP, whether himself or the finance minister could use their Section 4 powers to then allow the provincial governments and the districts to reapply those funds so that they are not misappropriating them. Thank you, Mr. If you could clarify that, Mr. Deputy Speaker.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. As I mentioned, I will clarify that when I get given the opportunity. I'll include that in our FPO report, but certainly we'd be prepared to use our Section 4 transfer authorities to assist us further with that. But again, I would stress that, and given a high-level response, whilst we're waiting for more funds to be released, there appears to be sufficient funds, Mr. Speaker, still held out in the provinces. For example, our provincial government operating accounts, the high-level number is, as of 31st of April, we have 1.3 billion kina held in our accounts, and I'm happy to detail the breakups of those in our FBO statement. And whilst I'm at it, with our DDA operating accounts, we have 864 million.